I mean, you want to start off, man? You the Cowboys fan.
I
Yeah,
will.
yeah, I'll start it off.
You okay? Bet.
So,
Word.
all right, so I mean, I'm gonna go on a whole soliloquy because the Cowboys continue to disappoint me every season. Like, you, we don't do anything. We continue the trend of not really making any big moves in the offseason. Um, we don't. I'm still waiting for the news of Micah Parsons. You know, Micah Parsons signed to a new contract, breaking the record for defensive player, highest record defensive player all time. Still hasn't come yet, so you know who knows when we're gonna get that news. Um, we haven't adequately addressed the running back situation. We let go of Rico Dowdle. And you know we got a washed. I believe he's washed. Miles Sanders. You know he was good whenever he was on the Eagles. I
Mm.
think he's washed now. I forgot the other running backs that we have on our roster right now.
Javante Williams, you guys signed as well.
That's right. That's right.
Mm.
And you know, other than that, we also had to address the O line. Zach Martin just retired,
Yeah, that was a
so
big loss for y'all.
yeah, so our O line isn't looking good enough, and Dak is going to come back from injury, so he's going to need protection
Mm.
on the defensive side of the ball. You know, we have a few injuries on the DB side. And linebacker, we do have linebacker depth, but with DeMarvion Overshown, you know, injured,
Mm.
we don't know when he's going to come back. So, you know, things are iffy there. Demarcus Lawrence just left. He went to the Seahawks. So things are iffy on offensive line or defensive line. So Micah Parsons is going to be the one that to hold it down. But I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna. You know, we just have needs all over the place. We don't do anything in off season. NFL draft is coming up, and who knows what we're gonna do. I know we have a few compensatory picks, but it's just I don't have any hope really.
Yeah. If I'm gonna give my opinion,
Mm.
so first, my thoughts is like when the Cowboys came to this offseason, it was clear that they needed a running back, and my thoughts was like, let's re-sign Rico. And I thought that's what Jerry was gonna do because like he's homegrown talent, you know.
Mm.
But to go out and pick up a Wash Miles Sanders and a Javante Williams, if I'm not mistaken, had an ACL tear and is not his complete self like he was on the Broncos, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like we had perfect options in that draft, Genty, Hampton, and not saying that we still can't take them. And obviously, my opinion is I think Genty's gonna go to the Raiders, but not saying that we can't take these other running backs. But it just I would just sit, as a Cowboys fan, I sit back and I think like, what is Jerry Jones doing? Like, you go and get these players that are washed and injury prone out of free agency when you can get these players for cheaper in the draft. Y'all know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I most definitely thought he would have tried to re-sign Demarcus Lawrence just cause he's been on the Cowboys for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, I think that opens up the door for us to draft another edge, James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. I think he's a perfect replacement. And as y'all seen in my latest, like all my mock drafts,
Mm-hmm.
I have Pierce going to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I got most of the same thing with the Cowboys with Pierce.
Yeah. Uh, I wanted Jerry to go out in free agency and really get some old linemen, like some really good old linemen. But I
Mm.
guess he's saving that for the NFL draft. I really do like how he did resign Osa. That was one player I know for sure I wanted because his presence on the defense is felt there. But it's I think how the Cowboys basically I think I can really fully draft the I mean give the Cowboys a good grade after the NFL draft cuz I got to see what Jerry Jones does cuz Jerry Jones in my opinion he does good in the draft. Not the failures but he knows how to draft players. He knows how to find
Mm.
these key players in these late rounds if y'all know what I'm saying. So I give him grace that he likes to go to the draft, but I would have loved to see him tackle free agency more and get some of these like bigger name players that could be a real impact right then on the start. If y'all see what I'm saying.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, I mean, just to kind of start my piece of this off, I mean, I'm kind of like the third party in the situation, but looking in from the outside of the Cowboys, you guys did start off by saying, that Jerry Jones said that, yeah, we're going to be selectively aggressive. And, when y'all came out and said that, it's kind of a little bit of a head scratcher because it's like, what does that exactly mean? Because, you have these contracts that are on the table, like Banga mentioned before. Micah Parsons, like I believe that's the biggest piece to y'all free agency, because if y'all don't lock that up or at least make Micah happy, or you know what's gonna happen with that in the future, because that is y'all entire defense as of right now. Like y'all said, y'all have depth at linebacker and other pieces like Diggs, solid corner there. But going to this free agency, like you said with the running backs, I thought Rico Dowdle was a serviceable back for y'all. I mean, I even had him on my fantasy team. So, I watched Dowdle closely last year. So, you know, um, but anyways, you guys did sign Javonte Williams to a 1 year deal, and while the deal was cheaper, how much of a difference is there between a Rico Dowdle and a Javonte Williams? You could argue, because it's like they're both just good running backs. So it's like you just got rid of one and just added another. So like Deuce said, should Jerry Jones have kept Rico Dowdle and just add another back through the draft, because like Deuce said, it's cheaper. But not only that, but this running back draft is deep, and the depth in this class is just it's the best compared to other years beforehand. So that was kind of one of the big things I looked at your guys' free agency. And then you guys also mentioned before Dexter Lawrence, longtime vet, signs with the Seahawks. Um, that I have the same pick as well for y'all at number 12, Jace Pierce Jr. From Tennessee. So mostly agree with most of y'all points there. But I guess the next thing I would ask y'all is in terms of free agency and the draft. I think definitely getting CD Lamb some help is definitely a big thing for y'all, because y'all have Turpin, but Turpin is more of a special teams kind of guy, but y'all really want to get help for CD. So where do you guys think y'all will add another receiver in the draft in terms of the later rounds, or would you guys even go for a receiver there right there at 12? I've seen even Noah pick Golden there at 12.
Yeah, most definitely. Recently after Tet's comments, I could most definitely see him falling out of that, top spot that he had, because he did say he doesn't watch film. He doesn't care about watching film. So that really does hurt somebody's draft stock when NFL scouts are looking at them. So I could most definitely see him now falling like to the mid round. Most definitely, and if he's right there, I think the Cowboys should take him, because you got to remember, Cowboys just lost Brandon Cooks, who
Yeah.
I thought was a good, second, third option. And now you can't really rely on just I can't think of the player off the top of my head, but he's their wide receiver too right now. And I got to look at the roster, but basically you can't rely. You need another star receiver right next to CeeDee Lamb if you want Dak to be able to move the ball. And
Mm.
I'm already iffy about these running backs. So if they want to like move the ball, they at least need to get some wide receivers, that Dak can throw to. I like the tight ends that the Cowboys got right now. I think they're very serviceable. So all you just got to do is add a receiver next to CeeDee, and I think you could see a little bit of positive hope. And I'm not knocking, like, if we don't get Ted, there's other receivers later in the day. You got Ibuka,
Yeah, there's
Golden.
Buka,
You got,
Golden, yeah,
yeah, you got all these receivers that you could
Burden.
go after. And even then, there's some late sleepers in the seconds and third round that I think would be more serviceable than what the Cowboys got right now on the roster. But just my thoughts is just I just don't know what Jerry's doing, because how can you say you're in win now mode but you're not doing anything to win? You're signing all these old players. You're giving these, like, the Cowboys have not signed. I forgot. I saw a post something. Cowboys have not signed a player over. I forgot the exact amount of money, but they've been signing these players for cheap for
Yeah,
like the longest, and that's just not good if you really want these. If you want to build a team,
they,
we see the Eagles. They're signing these players to good contracts, and
mm,
they're getting to the Super Bowl and winning it. And that's if you want to be able to compete with the best, you have to do what the best are doing. You can't just keep relying on the draft every year, because all the time we see these players not pan out how they did in college. If y'all know what I'm saying.
yeah. I think like the biggest thing with that too is that like I think a lot of people need to remember too is that this is a brand new regime for y'all. This is the first year with a brand new head coach, so I believe that is another reason why y'all are not big spenders, because it is the very first year that you guys are having this new head coach. So the Jets are doing the same exact thing as well. We're signing, kind of sleeper guys that are just cheaper than the biggest names that And that's what the Jets have always done in the past. Le'Veon Bell was a super big failure for us, sadly, and other names that we just signed. So but I mean, Banga, like, what is your opinion on, what do you think? How can the Cowboys get CD some help, and do you think they do it right there at 12, or do you think they wait for later rounds?
Well, since the Cowboys are so unpredictable, it's hard for me to know exactly what they would do. But I would probably because I originally wanted Ashton Genty, but last
Mm-hmm.
season whenever I realized like, okay, you're starting to win too many games now at the end of the season, so
Yeah.
your record's not good enough to pick top five, top seven. So Ashton Genty is going to get taken before us, I believe. So Matthew Golden, I really like him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Texas fan, diehard Texas fan,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got my eyes on Texas players. So I was thinking Matthew Golden, and
Do you
then
think he would be worthy of a 12th overall pick, in your opinion?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Just the Matthew Golden speed, his ability to catch, and how clutch he was last season for Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
I believe that yeah, he would be a good number two piece alongside CeeDee Lamb. And thank goodness that like you mentioned, Deuce, that we got Jake Ferguson, our tight end, because I believe that Jake Ferguson could be number two option as well, like any given day, because he's proven himself throughout the past 2 years. But in terms of the Cowboys, how they're building their team, I would have kind of started over at the quarterback position. I wouldn't have paid Dak last season. I would have let him walk. Let him play out last year. Obviously, he got injured, so he would have been if it was me, he would have been a free agent right now, and we would have gotten a quarterback, somebody a serviceable backup or whatever. Maybe a bridge quarterback that's already in the league this season, and then draft a backup like I don't know, Quinn Ewers, Jackson Dart, something like that. That's what I would have done. But Jerry Jones, he don't think like us.
Nah, yeah, I mean, you had Jerry Jones going in on that radio show, just ripping the absolute, heck out of those people that are trying to rip him for the way
Yeah,
he was running the team. So,
I'll get somebody else to ask these questions.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just to me the fact that he said he wasn't like the Joneses family is just about to be in control of that franchise, probably for the rest of their lives. And
Probably our
and
lives too.
yeah,
After
and it's
Jerry Jones
just
died, it's supposed to go to his son.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just I just don't think that family knows what they're doing. And I give because Jerry Jones, I gave credit to him like what he did in the past, like in the '90s, but as he got to the 2010s, he could just never make it. Ever since he won them championships in the 90s, he could never make it past the divisional round. And it just does it click to you got to do something else to win, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And to me, I just feel like he's just doing it just for the fun of it right now. I don't as much as he says he wants to win now, I think he's just saying that just to get the Cowboys fans heads up, but really I don't think he cares that much and that's just disappointing as a Cowboys fan to say.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I want to see change in the future, but
Mm.
it's probably not gonna happen.
To be honest, I think y'all messed up. Not the first time, but I think y'all kind of really messed up. When Dion kind of first came onto the coaching scene, when he wanted to give coaching a try, sure, you don't have to make Dion your head coach instantly, but he could have at least made him like a DB coach, and then work his way up like everybody else in the league. And look at him now. He just got a contract extension with Colorado, so like, I
Yeah,
mean, it kind of is a head scratcher because I mean, like you were mentioning before, with like home talent with players that y'all have. I mean, look at the Jets. Even we just hired a coach that used to be a player of ours. Aaron Glenn used to play DB for us. So I mean, that was kind of a little bit of a head scratcher with me,
yeah.
in terms of why
Which
y'all didn't want Dion on y'all coaching staff.
and
But that
I'll,
I feel like that was the start of it for me.
I'll push back on the idea of Dion being a DB coach because he's already a head coach. He's already a made man coaching. So no way he's going to accept a position coaching job. So the
That's
only the
true.
only
It does also depend if Dion wants a job in the first place. I do remember that. So you're right.
yeah,
and
and
the
I'm gonna
reason
add
why
on.
I don't think he would even take the job is
Yeah.
because Jerry Jones would undermine him.
Yeah,
over.
and I'm gonna add on to the Cowboys head coaching fiasco. It doesn't make sense that the Cowboys waited. Like we thought they was gonna resign Mike McCarthy, right? They waited till all the good coaches got signed just to let Mike McCarthy walk. And then we signed a coach that has does not have a good winning record. As much as you want to favor and praise him, he does not have a good winning record. So it's just like, what direction are you trying to take this team in right now? And that's just
Yeah,
the question that
because
I will
y'all
have
definitely
all
have
season.
pieces. Yeah, y'all definitely have
It's a move
pieces
that
on this team.
Like we have the talent on the team. I think we need more talent, but the coaching, it's just real. If and I know this is his first year, so he still has to prove himself as a head coach. So I'm not gonna like crap on him too much. But just me as a diehard Cowboys fan, I just didn't like the signing because there were so many other options out there. Like you mentioned, there was Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson. There's other options out there, and Jerry didn't really tackle it. He chose to wait and then fire Mike McCarthy, which just made no sense because the direction everybody thought he was going was Mike McCarthy's going to be back for another year. That's
Hmm.
just me.
No, yeah,
Not, I mean, I wasn't even down with Mike McCarthy coming back because it's like, all right, not last season, but the 2 seasons before that, when we won 12 games, 3 seasons in a row, and then made the playoffs, and that still wasn't good enough because you couldn't do anything in the playoffs. So I would have like what I would have done is go for Bill Belichick immediately. I would have done that,
mm.
2 years ago, but Jerry,
Any
yeah.
last closing thoughts of it, like the goals? I mean, I think another main goal of y'all free agency too is just kind of, um, like I keep repeating this all off season. It's a copycat league because the league kind of goes through this kind of cycle of what works, and then everybody tries to do what works, and then it's just this never ending cycle. So I think another goal for y'all is to just try and just stack up against y'all division rivals because your division this year is definitely going to be pretty tough with the Commanders now being good, and now with the Eagles, of course, returning as Super Bowl champions. So I think another goal for y'all in this draft is to, stack the trenches as well, like you said, with the O linemen. I believe y'all draft tackle or guard in there, and then So any last other closing thoughts as far as
Yeah,
as your off-season goals?
I think one of my offseason goal is really tackle that O line and figure out your wide receiver, your skill positions.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys are really lacking right there, even on the DB side, because if I remember correctly, Diggs is still hurt. If I remember correctly, so tackle your skill positions and really boost up that O line. If y'all see what I'm saying, that's just one goal I want to see. Now, I'm not going far to say like, oh, the Cowboys are gonna go to the deep in the playoffs, but if you want to start moving in the right direction, you need to tackle these holes like ASAP instead of getting these old players that you know on a make it or break it contract.
A goal. That's a good point right there. A goal for mine for the Cowboys to do would be to get a backup quarterback, somebody that can sit behind Dak for the next 3 years that Dak Prescott is under contract, because obviously Dak Prescott has an injury of getting hurt, or has a history of getting injured, and so you need somebody that can win you a few games whenever he's injured, and somebody that can take over after this contract is over.
Yeah, most definitely, I agree. And so is that everybody's points? Everybody got their yeah. So I think like to close this out, and I think we can all collectively agree if the Cowboys want to move in the right direction, something's going to have to be changed about that front office, and that it all goes back to that front office really. That front office is going to have some serious changes, even though we don't think it's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, and I think they're close to a contract extension with Micah, so I wouldn't be like too worried as far as
Yeah.
like, oh, like if we're not gonna sign. I think y'all sign him soon.
I saw that Micah asked for 200 mil. Y'all think that they get it down at that number?
Oh wait, Deuce, you muted.
Yeah, so I most definitely think Jerry's going to try to be like cheap with Micah, but Micah knows what he's worth. He knows that he deserves that money. But they waited too long to sign him. They waited till after Miles Garrett when he should have got that contract extension before Miles Garrett because Miles Garrett reset the whole market by doing that. And you
Now
know
you have to
Jerry gonna be
restart.
shooting.
Now you have to potentially reset the market again.
Yeah.
Yep. Jerry. Deadlines make deals.
Yeah, but most definitely, this was an amazing podcast, a good little episode that we ran. Most definitely, and the special thanks to our special guest, Esley Benga. Most definitely, we'll be back on the show in the future.
For real,
It
thank you,
was
bro.
nice having y'all, and see y'all later.